Metropolitan Police have said the state funeral of Queen Elizabeth will be the biggest security operation it has ever undertaken.
On Monday, hundreds of thousands of people are expected to be on the streets of London alongside high-profile guests, including US President Joe Biden.
The policing operation is expected to surpass other major events, including that was the Olympic Games in 2012 and celebrations for the Queen's Diamond and Platinum Jubilee.
To discuss the event from a policing angle, we're delighted to be joined by the Deputy Chair of the Police Federation, Tiff Lynch. Tiff, thank you very much for joining us. Can you just give us a flavour of how big Monday is going to be for your police officers?
Good morning to you both, Boridar. Yes, the Police Federation, the police service in England and Wales have never experienced an operation of this magnitude. We're going to have expected of at least 10,000 police officers leading up to the day on Monday. And there are officers from all over the country, from Scotland, Wales, and obviously all of our officers from the 43 branches in the country.
And how big? How big an issue is it? The sort of protection of all these heads of state all coming into the country all at the same time. How difficult is that to police?
Absolutely massive, and it's not just the direct protection, it's what's happening in the background. We've got all of the services, so not just the police service, we've got the Secret Service, we've got all the volunteers that are all pulling together to make sure that our heads of state that are arriving into the country are protected, that our royal family is protected, and that our members of the public that are obviously wishing to go there and say their goodbyes are also protected.
I've also heard the SAS units are on standby as well.
I'm not party to all of the operation and the logistics of what's happening and who will be there, but I wouldn't be surprised if the SAS are around in the background.
And as you say, it's policing the country as well. So you have people like the British Transport Police who'll be making sure that people are getting to London and back home safely as well.
Absolutely. It's not. I want to also stress that it's not just the focus in London. We've got so many officers that are working long hours, working their rest days, and it's an absolute privilege for those officers to actually be down in London. But we've also got towns and cities across the UK where people are wanting to pay their respects, and policing will continue in those towns and cities, as well as the normal business.
I just wondered, Tiff, people listening to you will be saying, well, there's officers coming from Scotland and Wales and maybe Yorkshire and Greater Manchester and all the rest of it. How worried might people be about the lack of policing in their own areas over the next few days?
We can assure all of our public across the country that normal business in towns and cities will continue, and we will have the officers out there working, no different to the officers in London, long hours, cancelled rest days to ensure that our public are safe. And those officers feel that it's a privilege to actually do that.
And Tiff, whilst you're on, we can't not mention the horrific stabbings yesterday in central London where 2 officers were stabbed carrying out their duty. And obviously we send our sympathies to those officers and their families and their colleagues as well. I just wondered, how worrying, is this a growing trend of violence that police officers are facing on our streets?
First of all, my thoughts go out to both officers and also the officers that were actually at the scene and their shift. This is a horrific incident that has occurred yesterday. Our officers go to work on a day-to-day basis, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, not expecting to not come home at the end of their shift. Violence towards police officers is increasing, and the level of violence is increasing, and it's not acceptable. We're in a period of mourning for our Queen, our Sovereign, and our boss. The police officers in London and all over the country are wanting to ensure that the public can pay their respects quietly and respectfully. And all I would ask is that our police officers get the same in return.
No, absolutely. We completely agree. Is there anything that you, the Police Federation, would like to see the government or Parliament do to? I mean, we've been doing things like passing laws to create an offence of assaulting an emergency worker and things like that, and trying to toughen up the sentence on that. Is there anything further that the Police Federation would like to see the government do to help protect police officers?
There's lots that the government can do, and that's a discussion I would suggest is for another day whilst we're actually in this period of mourning. But what we would like to see, we have the Policing Covenant that has passed through under the Police Crime Sentencing and Courts Bill. We would like more emphasis in the support and the welfare and well-being of our officers and their families. And we have, obviously, the assaults on emergency workers. The sentencing was increased and we were grateful for that. But we would like to see the government supporting our emergency services. It's not just the police service that are assaulted in this way. It's all of our emergency services. And we would like further recognition for the duty that they actually go out and do.